Yo, what's going on, guys? Mike here. I'm going to be on my alchemical Mike. Alright, and so this is going to be a really fun video, hopefully an inspiring video for your imagination and help you with your creativity and ideas and, just like I said, inspiration, okay? And you have heard me talk about before how, with spirituality and your faith of the unseen and the unconfirmed, you should have fun. You know what I mean? I think, like, even when I was younger, one of the problems I had with religion is it didn't seem fun. And, I think that the true God, the true Most High, wants us to also have a good experience and have fun with our connection to Him, if that makes sense. And He wants us to be creative and truly enjoy our experience and time with the Most High. And that will encourage you to continue to have a relationship and build a stronger relationship, just like with a regular person. You know what I mean? If you can just think about how you can have a best friend or type of relationship that you can build with the best friend, right? That's the same kind of bond you want to have with God. But people say stuff like that, like having a relationship with God, bonding with God, walking with God, all those things. But I think a lot of times it's just cliche, and we don't really know how to do that and what that means. You know what I'm saying? It's just something to say. You know what I mean? But to truly have a relationship with God in all aspects of God, because that is, from my findings, how God interacts with us, right? 9 times out of 10, there's not going to be no one person that's going to come to you. If it was one person that came to you and said, hey, I'm God, let's be friends, let's build a relationship, you're going to think that person was crazy. You're going to start judging them, right? But a more practical way of thinking about it is God is everything. So once you can build a relationship, gain as much knowledge as you can to know how to perceive, what to look for, what to interact with, you know what I mean? And you can build a relationship with God, and you can be communicating with God in almost every moment. You know what I mean? So the thing is, I like to do little rituals, okay? I try to make everything that I consume now, I try to make it sacred. I try to make it sacred and do everything with intention. You know what I mean? As much as I possibly can. I'm not perfect either with it, but I always try to be mindful of everything I'm doing, what I put into my body, what I'm putting into my body for. So when you do that, guys, you think about how when you get into spirituality and things like that, and that's what ego has to do with a lot of things, where we put on these personas and we think we have to look a certain way, do things a certain way, not be ourselves, change a lot of the unimportant stuff, really. So some people change how they dress, some people change how they talk, stuff like that. I ain't saying, changing how you dress or wearing, it's all about diversity. It's all about the all. You know what I mean? For example, just because I had gotten into spirituality when I got into it, you know what I mean? Especially at this point, in hindsight, that don't mean that I got to wear kente cloths every day, right? Or that don't mean I got to use certain words that I ain't grow up using. And that don't mean that I got to abandon everything that I grew up with, right? It's about incorporation, okay? Because it's really about the inner alchemy. It ain't about the type of clothes you wear. It ain't necessarily about the type of foods you eat and things like that. But the thing about it, why these things are good, especially in your beginning stages, to be mindful of those things and work on changing and shifting it, is because everything is a frequency, right? And when you wearing certain clothes, you do feel a certain way. It does put you in a certain space. It does enhance your ability to be able to make the true connection. It's like tools, you know what I mean? Things that can assist you. Eating healthy is going to assist you. But when you get to a certain point of, I guess you could say, discovery, knowledge, self-mastery, things like that, or knowing yourself better and really embracing your spiritual path and your spiritual identity and your spiritual, I guess you could say, concoction and mixture, individuality, creativity, and who you are and being you. Like if you're really doing it, what I think, if you're doing it right, you know what I mean? You realize you incorporate all these things, okay, and make it work for you, as long as you make everything sacred and you have a meaning and a purpose and a reason for what you are doing beyond just doing it, doing things unintentionally, unmindfully. That makes sense? So obviously we know, and y'all seen me talk about it or show an example when I had like a big plate of fruit and stuff like that, and I prayed over it and my intentions and the things I was programming the food with, it was intentional, you know what I mean? And I was I was making it sacred, right? Some people would probably just say, certain types of people might just say, man, just eat the food, you know what I'm saying? whatever, you know what I mean? Or, man, it's just food, you know what I mean? Just eat it, whatever. I try to make everything that I put into my body sacred, you know, whether it's known to be healthy or not. All right, I find reasons to make things good, okay, or find what I can benefit from it. And being that that we do things, we work on balance and moderation, then, you know, it's not like I'm gonna get carried away with anything that, you know, may be known to be have bad outcomes if they are abused. So, you know, soda, you know, chips, cakes, stuff like that, right? It ain't that we can't ever have it and enjoy ourselves, but at the same time, we just don't want to get carried away with stuff like that. Then when we do, we want to make it sacred. So when I eat stuff that's considered to be like junk food or something like that, here and there, every once in a while, or not as often as I eat, nowhere near as often as I eat what is known to be healthy, right? I always make it sacred and try to identify, what am I eating this for? You know, besides just a physical addiction to maybe sugar or something like that, right? So, you know, the way I look at it when I get a lot of snacks and stuff like that, or if I get snacks and stuff, I'm always trying to tap into my inner child, my inner freedom, not feeling restricted, not having any fear of something's going to make me this way or make me that way or contribute to something negative. I didn't think about those things as a child. You was free and you just ate what made you happy, what made you feel good. You know what I mean? And so I tap into that. You know what I mean? I'm intentional about bringing that through. You know what I mean? When I eat something like that and really enjoying it, because at the same time now, when you don't eat stuff like that all the time, right? When you don't eat, say, junk food all the time, then you can really make it sacred, because now you can enjoy it because it's rare, it's more rare. You don't do it all the time. So you can really enjoy that piece of cooking when you know it might be another couple weeks before you eat something like that. You know what I mean? So does that make sense? Sometimes I do stuff, I'll eat certain things, and I'll kind of see what it is, what is labeled, you know, just the whole, you know what I mean, things like that. It may be junk food or something, but it may mean something to me. You know what I mean? Sometimes it could be ancestral, it could be things that I know some of my ancestors used to like and things like that, which I and so kind of to pay homage and honor. And mind you, listen to what I said, pay homage and honor which you came from physically and in a lot of regards sometimes spiritually, okay? And not worshiping. I'm not an ancestor worshiper. I am not the Most High, so I ain't the one that's gonna judge you either and say, you know, you going to hell, or is that's the devil and all that type of stuff. If I'm just a humanoid in this body trying to figure everything out, no matter how strong my faith may be and what my beliefs may be, I'm at the level where I will never at this point try to condemn somebody else as if I was God because they doing something a certain type of way that I wouldn't do it, or I wasn't taught to do it, or whatever. Let me see here. Alright, so anyway, like I said, on my alchemical Michael. So this is gonna be a little ritual. This is something I haven't drunk soda in who knows how long. I don't drink soda. This ain't nothing this is like a ritual that's not like, for example, fruits and vegetables are a daily ritual, basically. You know what I mean? Earthing is a daily ritual I do. Breathing, fresh air is a daily ritual I do, right? Things like that. Those are rituals. Those are more common, more frequent rituals, right? And then you got the rituals that you may do every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Or something that you may do every once in a while. You may only do it once. You know what I mean? So, when I was a kid, I used to love Mountain Dew. Alright? I used to love this one, Cold Red. I guess they came back out with, like I said, I haven't even looked at sodas or looked for sodas. So, I don't know what, I don't be knowing about what sodas, new sodas coming out, what old sodas coming back or came back, or if this just been out the whole time. You know what I mean? But I know definitely when I was a kid, Cold Red, and I used to like this one. And then I'm going to try this Voltage, this electric blue, because I like Static Shock and Energy and things like that. So it kind of remind me of like Black Lightning, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like Voltage, like Energy and things like that. And then one is red and one is blue, so I'm gonna mix them and see what color we come up with. And if it does look purple, we know purple is a royal color. It's one of my favorite colors for that reason. And so I believe I believe red is a very powerful color too, a royal color, and just a very powerful, strong color. Okay, and then blue has its spiritual meanings and qualities to the color. You know what I mean? I believe abundance is associated with blue. All right. Then, so I got a Sprite. I used to definitely love Sprite when I was younger. Okay. And so what made me want to do this one is because this ritual is because, so I was at the I had did a short not too long ago. If you go check it out and find it, probably about a month or two ago now, where I had seen something in a pond that I like to go to, you know what I mean, to meditate and things like that, and unwind. Nice little pretty beautiful spot, you know what I mean, nature spot. And I seen something that I was told my granddad used to love, and my granddad was extremely old by the time I was born, and I didn't get to really know him the way the rest of my siblings was able to know him. He was kind of very elderly and things like that. And at the tail end of his life, even when I was a little kid, a very little kid, right? So I had to be told stuff about him. And then my grandma, same thing. I definitely had to be told stuff about her based on the fact that she had passed before I was even born, period. So I didn't get to meet her at all. You know what I mean? While she was alive. So I seen something that was associated with them, rappers, you know what I mean, like candy wrappers or something that I was told that they liked. And it was floating kind of side by side, or just sitting in the water in the pond side by side. And then also it was a Sprite wrapper, and at the time I didn't realize, I didn't associate. I think I heard it before, but I ain't put it together that Sprite also means like spirit, you know what I mean, or spirit, you know what I mean. And so it just made me think of so I got the inspiration, you know what I mean, today. I ain't saying that at that point I thought about this, but I got the inspiration today. When I woke up, I thought about it. I was like, I'm gonna do, I'll do this and sip a little bit of this right here. And it just I think it, to me, what it means to me, and what I'm doing with it is it is connecting and honoring, connecting to and honoring my ancestors, okay, and where I come from, and my my family tree and my roots, you know what I mean, always staying connected to that. And spirit, Sprite, like I got these I have certain personal experiences that I'm probably not going to share right now or whatever. I don't really know how to put it into words too much. Plus, I don't want to make the videos too long. But also, like, when I think of Sprites, I think of like fast, like little orbs and balls of lights. that could move and just be out and be kind of like almost invisible at the speed of light or faster, and almost like invisible, almost like fairies. You could think of fairies, angels. That's what these are things that come to me when I think of sprites. Light, orbs, spirits, ancestors, fairies, angels. Gnomes, just spiritual. I guess you could say what we call, I guess, entities are in all different. But so anything you could think of, for any religion or spiritual background or system, you know what I mean? Nature forces, things like that. You know what I mean? Primordial spirit. You know what I mean? All those types of things, right? All right. So we got that. So and like I said, also youth, body and spirit, because like I said, we not doing nothing like this all the time. I might just do this one time ever. You see what I'm saying? Like one of those type of rituals. And then I'm gonna get some energy probably from the sugar and stuff like that that's in the soda. I'm not gonna do much. You're gonna see how much I'm probably gonna sip it over the next couple hours or something as I'm working out, and just burn it off a little bit off and stuff. But I think it'll have way more spiritual benefits than it could ever do to my body, do any harm to my body. And energetically, I think it's going to be very beneficial and things like that. And setting the intent, and manifesting the intent of staying connected to your roots and your ancestors, and all that comes with that as far as the wisdom, protection, love, all those type of things that you would think that you would get from your ancestors, right? And connecting to nature and spirit when you do things like that, the intent and different ways of communicating, and it helps you focus with your intention and setting your intention on why you're doing things, going back to the beginning of this video, making everything sacred, right? So you see how, like, me about to drink this soda is going to be so much more beneficial, based on the fact that you see what I'm saying? You see how I'm laying the foundation of my intent. You know what I mean? And then also, like I said, with this, and just that connection to spirit, and to continuously develop imagination and spirit and magic. You know what I mean? And your talents and what you like to do and what your gifts are. So stuff like this is fun. This is actually fun to me. You see what I'm saying? And things like that. So let's crack this open. I will put the Sprite in first. That's all we gonna put. We ain't drinking a whole lot of this. It's a libation. Mountain Dew Cold Red. A little bit of that. What it's looking like now. When you think about the Sprite, it's clear, so it ain't gonna mess up the color either. That's a good thing. And just like if you think about spirit, angels, all these type of different, entities, all across whatever religion or anything like that, history and mythology, folklore, all those type of things, right? They're like invisible, right? Invisibles. I'm thinking about the Invincibles or something like that, invisibles. But you know what I mean? So it's clear, which represents like spirit, you know what I mean? Unseen life or forces, okay, of nature and the Most High. And then we got the Mountain Dew voltage. And this is for energy, good energy, royal energy, regal energy. We should all be striving for that, right? Striving to be better people, the most royal, most eloquent people that we can be, and things like that, as that our potential calls for. You know what I mean? and we all have the potential to be more and more sophisticated, especially most of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, in all ways, you know what I mean? In character, and in all aspects of character, you know what I mean? Alright, so this is what it's kind of looking like. So it looks more, I would probably have to put, you can kind of see the purple tint in there. I would probably have to put more blue in there to make it look more purple, but you can kind of see that purple undertone. You know what I mean? Especially the illusion. Like, see how I bring it back and it look more and more purple? You know what I mean? Alright. Then I'm gonna end up sipping this right here. So hopefully this was a fun video, guys. Like I said, an inspiring, imaginative, entertaining video. And it gives perspective on things and outlook and perception and ways to look at things to help you guys as you develop with your spirituality and connection to the Most High and all things spirit. All right, guys, peace.